Sawadee Cup. Hello everybody and welcome along to round 3 of the F4 Southeast Asia Championship certified by FIA. Welcome along to Bang Sen, which is an east part. My name's Alex Norton. Through the action all the way Firstly, apologies for the delays. Wherever you're watching the world, we have had a couple of delays out on the track, so barriers had to be left-hand side LED screen on turn 6 is not working at one point or another. We were due to have 10 drivers set to take part in this session with a red flag. Having a red flag, let's just say a red flag truncated session, that we did find that Joshua Berry from Black Arts Racing will not be taking part in this weekend's action. He suffered a wrist injury after hitting the barriers coming out of turn number 2, and 17 and a half minutes remaining on the counter, and his wrist injury has taken him out of this weekend, so we are down to 9 drivers. So more to the point, it is going to be Bang Sen. This is a circuit that has been around since 2007, FIA homologated from 2017, a lap distance of just 3.754 kilometers, anti-clockwise, 20 turns in all. There's an elevation change from turn 4 to turn 18, which is about 23.5 meters. And more to the point, it is the case that Alex Sauer from Evans Grand Prix, the Vietnamese driver, is leading by a comfortable 80 points after the trip to Buriram for round 2, as the drivers will get heat into the tyres and the brakes. These are the second generation of the F4 chassis provided by Tatus, with a 1.4 Fiat Abarth racing engine, turbocharged, 160 brake horsepower, into a 6-speed paddle shift operated gearbox. But slipstreaming will be very, very crucial here on the start-finish straight coming out of turn number 20 and into turn number 1. Now, the temperatures around this circuit, 32 degrees air ambient temperature, and more to the point, we are going to see whether these drivers will be able to put down a lap time. Now, checking over the previous free practice sessions, Alex Sauer from Evans Grand Prix posted a 1:38.607. That was 9 tenths ahead of one of the local drivers from the local team, Star Performances, Ayrton Astatorn, with a 1:39.523. Alex Sauer's teammate at the Australian outfit, Evans Grand Prix, Seth Gilmore, the number 24, second in the championship standings on 108 points, was third quickest on a 1:40.582. So with the tyre temperatures and the brake temperatures hopefully up to level. Now, this is a 30-minute sole qualifying session. So what does that mean for you? Number 1, the second fastest lap in the session will set the grid for race number 2. Each of the races this weekend will be 25 minutes plus an additional lap. Now, Bang Sen very much mimics Macau in how close the barriers are. There is no room for error. We had 3 red flags yesterday. Ayrton Astatorn was the first one to do so in the session, with about 37 minutes left in the 45-minute practice session yesterday. The 51 went straight on at turn 8 and managed to damage the front wing. We also had problems for Rishon Rajiv, the Indian star, in the number 25. The airbox cover was loose off of the car, losing the Indian. Very, very important time out on track. Then we had the 22 of Origin Motorsport, Wang Zhongwei, going straight on at one of the runoff areas. But then also we found out that Thomas Lee from the USA with Evans Grand Prix, the only Masters driver in this competition, unfortunately rearranging the right-hand side of his Evans GP Formula 4 car, and there it is, and it's wonderful split colour livery. The right-hand side was a bit, let's say, destitute yesterday in the latter part of the session, brought out the second of three red flag stoppages, and Joshua Berry hitting the barriers off turn 2, which not only broke the right front suspension, broke the front ring, but he's also got a wrist injury, so he is not going to take part in this session. So there is Thomas Lee, his fastest lap time so far, a 2-minute 3.995, but it's Ben Sauer from Vietnam, and he's just done a 1:38.884. Ayrton Astadon is doing really well in second position. And they are changing all the time. Seth Gilmore goes P3, 1:40.889. Inigo Anton, the Filipino driver, a 1:41.333 ahead of the Indian Rishon Rajiv in the number 25. Then it's Origin Motorsports Wang Zhongwei in the number 22, a 1:43.670. Then it's Ben Nguyen from another driver from Vietnam in the number 37, the driver for Black Arts Racing, headed up by ex-Formula 1 driver from Malaysia, Alex Yule, team based out of Hong Kong. It's currently P7 at the moment. Thomas Lee improves to 8th on a 1:47.782. But at the moment it looks like Alex Sauer is going to be quickest overall in both the first and he's just improved again. That's a great lap time from the Vietnamese ace, a 1:38.435, the quickest lap time set by anybody so far this weekend. The driver's really getting up to speed. You can see that the sunlight bathing the circuit here on Friday afternoon. Of course, tomorrow morning at 10:25 local time, we'll be getting underway with our first of 2 races before we then take a return trip for the last 2 rounds of the Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship, certified by FIA, on the 5th and the 7th of September to Sepang. And the Sepang International Circuit will also host the 5th and final race weekend on September the 19th to the 21st. And at the moment, Alex Sawyer has done a clean sweep of every single race weekend so far. So he is the man to beat. Improvements from Alex Sauer in terms of his best and his second fastest lap time. Inigo Anton drops down to 5th. Warapong Enwichan, the second of the 2 drivers from the Thai team, star performance. There will be a lot of support from the locals. There's number 33, Inigo Anton, making his way through the tight hairpin at turn number 6. Very much a reverse of the Melco hairpin at the Gaia circuit at Macau. It's another hidden gem here at Bang Suen, and of course the Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship, certified by FIA, is also part of the support bill for this weekend's Bang Suen Grand Prix, run through the Thailand Super Series. But with 18.5 minutes to go, improvements are happening. Ayrton Astadon has gone into the pits. There is a pit lane speed limit of 40 kph. Of course, the garage is a very much open plan. So, just to help give the teams as much aeration as possible, it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid to a point, and also perspiration and hydration are 2 things that you have to worry about, especially these drivers here. There's Ben Nguyen in the number 37. You can see the undulation of the cars as well, and the circuit, because there is a lot of bumpiness. It is unstable circuit. You're having to deal with very much different track surfaces. And as you can see, there has been some rubber laid down by the rest of the competition. Rain is potentially forecast for some parts of the weekend, tomorrow and Sunday, more significantly. As Ben Yuen, trying to make his way through the circuit, comes out of turn. You start to in Ayrton Asledon in the pit lane. There's Thomas Yuli, currently in 8th position at the moment. His best effort so far from the American driver, a 1:45.965. And at the moment, the pecking order seems to be, as it is right now, that Seth Gilmore has just improved in terms of his best lap time overall, a 1:39.807. He's got to within 1.4 seconds of Evans GP's teammate, Alex Sawyer, who leads the way on 1:38.435. His best second lap time is a 1:38.662. But the drivers, there you can see the Black Arts Racing team servicing Rishon Rajiv. Of course, they have nominated drivers for scoring points in terms of the Teams Championship, which is currently being led by Evans Grand Prix, the Australian outfit run by Joshua Evans. Also, there's a Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia linked there as well with DW Evans GP. The DW standing for Dan Wells, a good friend of mine, used to run in the old Formula Piloted China days. Also, Alex Young from Black Ops Racing, ably assisted by his son Alistair, who's also been racing. Alex, one of the many people that is involved also, not just in the real life motorsport scene, but also in the sim racing world with Axel Sports, the longest standing Asian sim racing outfit, which also has its own state of the art facility in Kuala Lumpur. So we now finally get they're trying to talk up the left rear on Rishon Rajiv's number 25. That is T421. So a lot of activity going on. We've got just under half of the session to go. We have been green flag all the way through. There's the number 12 of Alex Sawyer with the distinctive black and blue livery of Evans Grand Prix, but also has the red halo on the car. So he is quite clearly the man to beat, as Alex Sawyer and also Ayrton Asledon now make their way out onto the circuit. Asledon, the leading rookie in terms of the timesheets. However, in terms of the championship, it's the Filipino driver, Inigo Anton, for Black Arts Racing, who currently sits P3 in the standings on 85 points. Asledon to make an impression here on home soil, along with Warapong Emuchan, the two Star Performance teammates. Sawyer makes his way through turn 6 and now will bury the throttle hard. And then it's going to be a case of just trying to measure how you're going to get through. Of course, it's a very difficult 90 right at turn 8. And then you've got a complex of corners where you've got to use a little bit of savoir-faire, a little bit of racecraft, and also a little bit of bravado, with the walls very, very close. We did actually have a red flag stoppage in the free practice. We have a red flag stoppage in the free practice session for Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. Who will part of a very, very big support paddock that we make, and there is a red flag, and someone has hit the barriers and trying to make out who that is. So that's straight on the racing line. Now, the clock has been stopped at 13:02. Jeanette Tan, our official race director, has made it clear that if we have a red flag stoppage, that is not going to bode well for one of the teams. I think that might have been one of the Black Arts racing cars. That is going to be Rishon Rajiv. No, it's Wang Zhongwei. It's the Origin Motorsport number 33, not the 33, my apologies there. The number 22 that has hit the barriers hard. And you can see that is part of the front nose. So Wang Zhongwei has gone in at a big rate of speed. That just goes to show how is the big question. So Wang Zhongwei has brought out the recovery. So umbrellas for the drivers. A little bit of battling, probably a little bit of adjustment on the front off, which also showcases the shock absorbers, the part of the damper system. There's Thomas Yuli, very brightly coloured racing helmet, explaining to the team, right, he's explaining that there's something going on with the front right of the car, just by the way that he's gesticulating to his mechanic. So in both race 1 and race 2 is now eliminated from the session. So it is going to be a case that the cars are going to have to be cooled. They'll be, there you can see on one of the Evans Grand Prix cars. I think that is going to be Thomas Yuli. You can see that the car's in neutral. So there's going to be a little bit of conversation between driver and engineer. And straight away, well, a bit of a shame there for Wang Zhongwei, for the Chinese team. Origin Motorsport also competing in the China GT Championship, which has quite recently had its penultimate round of its season just a few weeks ago. Of course, there's a few drivers that will be keeping a keen eye on proceedings, and that will be the likes of the paddock at the Infinity Yami Series Asia paddock. So there will be a lot of interest in drivers that might be moving up from maybe, say, Senior X30 to look at this particular. There you see the marshalling crew and the recovery outfit ready to lift the car of Origin Motorsports. And it's not. So, that is a lot of repair work for the team at Origin Motorsport. The right-hand side completely obliterated, and it was just the way that the car impacted. As you can see, everyone waving to the camera in the grandstands. Always great to see the love of motorsport here in Asia, and it is growing by the day load. So we're coming down to the final 7 minutes. Drivers now will they're going to go to the end of the pit lane. Inigo Anton having to Oh, right, what's happened? Has the car just stalled? So portable fans are de rigueur. There you see some of the team. There we go. If you're near a screen, take a picture. There you go. Under the guidance of race director Jeanette Tan for the next 6.5 minutes. So it's about a case of putting your best foot forward, of course. Real shame for Joshua Berry, the Singaporean driver, unable to have the opportunity to race here at the this particular circuit, FIA Grade 3. So it is a case of now drivers jockeying for position and trying to put their best foot forward. So at the moment it's Alex Sawyer leading the way on a 1:38.435. He's also at this moment in time with the second fastest lap, the fastest out of everyone else. He has put it on pole for race 2, which will take place local time at 2:55 p.m. this coming Sunday. Of course, there's a lot of motorsport going on in the world. Of course, the 2025 FIA Formula One World Championship is at Silverstone this weekend. I'm sure that a lot of the people, as soon as they've finished watching, they'll be keeping an eye on what's going on at Silverstone. But the drivers now starting to get up to temperature with the competition tyres from Gitti, the official tyre partner of the championship. So 5 minutes to go, and can anyone beat a man who has had a clean sweep at both Sepang and Buriram so far this season, Alex Sawyer from Vietnam? Going to be an interesting one. I'm wondering what his teammate Seth Gilmore has in the pocket, as there is Inigo Anton from the Philippines, second fastest rookie in this session, but a great performance so far from Thailand's Ayrton Astaton, the star performance, and is only 0.2 of a second slower than Alex Sawyer at the moment. So coming down to the final 4 minutes and 10 seconds of this qualifying session, and it will be a case of can people start to improve. Alex Sawyer now at full qualifying speed as he goes through out of turn number 2, up the hill through 3, then it's down the descent into turn 4, and then it's going to be approach turn 5 through the right-hander, then it's going to be on the brakes here for turn number 6. So he puts in a personal best in the opening sector. There's Alex Young looking on with the rest of the team from Black Arts Racing. Good to see that man still having a significant involvement in motorsport. Keeping an eye on what the rest of their drivers are doing, which will include Ben Nguyen in the number 37, the other Vietnamese driver. And you can see that Slipstream can assist, but they've got to be very, very careful. Alex Sauer looking up that. Now that was through on the inside, around about turns 15 and 16. So Alex Sauer might have got a little bit of a slipstream there. He's done a personal best in the opening sector. Sector 2, not quite on par, but he will be very shortly coming across the line out of turn 20. Goes across the line, and on that particular occasion sets a 1:40.032. However, Ayrton Astadorn has just gone purple in the opening sector. The number 51 from Star Performance, who's currently making his way down towards turn number 8. This could be one for the books. If he can put a fantastic lap in, he's about to complete sector number 2. but he was nearly 4/10 quicker than Alex Sauer on the opening sector. So could the Thai driver have something to say in the latter part of this qualifying session? We've got 1:50 on the clock still to go. It's all important about how he gets through the last few corners, because if he gets a good run coming out of turn number 20, he's going to go across the line very shortly. Is it going to be a change in the timesheets? Will Alex Sawyer lose out on that pole position for race number 1? Yes, that is the case. Ayrton Astadorn goes provisional pole on a brilliant lap of 1:38.178, 2.5 tenths of a second quicker than the man from Vietnam, Alex Sawyer, who is improving. He's about a tenth of a second down in sector number 2. No, sector 1. He goes across the line. He was 3/10 up in sector 2, but sector 3 he was down, and he's only put in a 1:38.750. We are coming down to the final 40 seconds of this qualifying session, and more to the point, Ayrton Astadorn in the number 51 for Star Performance is going to really bring a shock and a surprise. Well, probably not a surprise to the team at Star Performance, because his last few runs, he's gone purple again. Oh, he's lost it! Oh, he's lost it! He was so close to getting a quicker lap time in. That's going to be double waved yellows, and that is going to bring an end to the session. Ayrton Astadorn was pushing like a madman. Let's have a look at the replay. Throws it in at turn 15, back end steps out, misses the barriers. Oh my goodness. Ayrton Astadorn, I think, might have just he got away with that. Very, very lightly indeed. But that is it for the session. And it is a home pole position for not just race number 1, but based on the current times, Ayrton Astadorn from Star Performance at his home track, no less, at Bang Sen, as part of the Bang Sen Grand Prix here in 2025, has taken, look, there you can see, the wing's the only thing that's taken the damage, nothing else. It got a touch against the wall, but that man there from Star Performance is going to be welcomed by the local public and his team to what will be pole position for races 1 and 2 here at round 3 of the 2025 FIA, F4 Southeast Asia Championship, certified by FIA here at Bang Sen. Now, there could be a little bit of a twist in the mix, because I've just seen that drivers 51, 25 and 33, that is 51, Ayrton Astadorn, 33, Inigo Anton, and 25, Rishon Raji. But, well, what can you say about the Bang Sen Grand Prix? It brings the best out of everybody. Everyone was ready to go, unfortunately, without Joshua Berry. For the majority of the session, we had green flag running all the way around this 3.754 kilometre circuit. Drivers were jockeying for position, trying to get the real estate here in eastern Thailand, just off the coast. Drivers would improve over the course of the session, with the air very, very hot and humid. It was initially number 12 of Alex Sawyer from Vietnam that would be setting the pace in the number 12. But then it was a case of, with a red flag stoppage, due to an unfortunate incident for Wang Zhongwei, the Origin Motorsport number 22. Well, Alex Sawyer would go out to try and do the business, but it would be one driver that would set a double pole position on home soil. Here's the moment where Wang Xiongwei smacked the barriers hard, giving the Chinese outfit a big amount of repair work. Adjustments were being made on the 33 of Inigo Anton. We saw Ewan looking very calm and relaxed. But more to the point, it was a case of who would be top dog here in Thailand at the Bang Sen Grand Prix circuit. Well, one driver that definitely had the impetus was Star Performance's Ayrton Astadon, who not only would improve on lap time, but would go on to take a double pole position here at the Bang Sen Street Circuit in eastern Thailand, situated between Bangkok and Pattaya City. There's the moment on his last push lap, the checkered flag came out. Well, what can you say? Ayrton Astadon got away with it rather lightly, but he will be on pole position for races 1 and 2. Starting tomorrow at 10:25, so join us then.